Consoles, 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 consoles. Look at all these consoles. Sega Mega Drive, Sega Dreamcast, an American Super Nintendo, an NES Model 2, Sega Master System. There's Mario holding my 3DS, my PS2, PS3. That's just an amp for all my surround sound stuff. Xbox, Sega Master System Model 2, and Wii. I've got more, but one of my personal favourites has always been this thing, the GameCube. PS2 and Xbox. These two were the main rivals. But then comes along this little guy, with its cool little handle and 4-player compatibility right at the front. Take that, PS2! And today, I'm going to take a look inside of it. Because this thing's just cute. Okay, so here we have the Nintendo GameCube in all of its Nintendo glory. I mean, leave it to Nintendo. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is remove the memory card. So, you don't need that. Right, and you want to flip it over on its back. Now, I removed the tri-rings. I removed those security screws that Nintendo always insists on putting in the systems. So I'm just going to use a standard Phillips screw, because that's what I replace my screws as. Just check my videos. Once you have that done, you will remove the panel like so. Very careful though, it just comes off very easily. Slide off like that. And you don't need that, you can put it off to the side. Now, you might have to worry about that there is an eye for the laser. So get yourself just a regular GameCube disc and just leave it over. The disc won't get damaged, don't worry. You just want to protect the eye because you're going to be taking it apart and dust might get in the way. It's free to move, so don't worry about it. Now, you want to remove this back panel here and the front panel. So this back panel just snaps off, like so. The front panel is the same thing, but be careful, there's a ribbon attached to it. So pop it off, be very careful. And you want to detach the ribbon. This is for the 4-player controllers and memory cards. Nice and gently, there we go. Okay, we'll put that off to the side. Don't need that. Now, there is 2 main screws on the left side where the fan cooling is and the power point. These 2 brass screws here. I'm going to remove them. Once you have that done, you will have your fan being able to detach. Now you want to remove 2 wires, one the main AC power, and the second one is the fan coolant. Sorry. So just pop them off. There goes the power, and there goes the fan. Just be very careful, they pop off pretty easy. And then you can remove the cooling system as well as the power system. Now this part's going to get boring, I will admit, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screws. So in this next part, yeah, I want to get ready for this. I'm going to speed up this next part. Yeah, this would probably bore the living hell out of you if you have to sit through and watch this, but it has to be done to get access to, you know, more. So just speed this up here now. Okay. Now once you have that done, there'll be 4 main screws at the very front where the memory card slots go. These are crucial that you remove last. Now just be very careful because they are attached to a very, very thin layer of aluminium. So it's important that you don't bend it or anything. Just be very careful. They're very fragile, which is why I always recommend leaving them till last. Okay. So just remove those 4 screws there. You might be wondering, why am I doing a recording voiceover? Like, this is not scripted, I'm just talking as I am. It's because, well, if you can tell from my voice, I'm dying with the flu. So I didn't really want to record myself on the day because I look like shit. So this is just an over record. But yeah, it's still the same thing really. So just take off those 4 screws. Be very careful, they're very delicate. And a bit of wiggling will be required to remove it. It should come up freely, but if it's your first time doing it, it's most likely going to be stuck up. There we go. Yeah, just take a little bit of wiggling. Don't be too brute with it. It'll come off when it's ready. And you don't need to remove the disc. You can just leave it there if you want. If you really are, you know, want to protect the laser, I recommend leaving it. Okay, now this part is very, very important. This main big block of metal is protecting the most crucial parts of the motherboard, the CPU, the GPU, whatever. and it is attached with 6 screws as well as some glue agent on the bottom. So if you still remove the 6 screws, just be careful. It's still attached with some weird epoxy glue. Just be very, very, very careful. Because if you damage that, if the glue dries up or whatever, or you know yourself, you don't want to pull the whole metal frame off. Leave it attached, just be very careful. So I'm just going to remove these 6 screws and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I've been wanting to do a look inside a GameCube for a long, long time, but I haven't really had a chance to get around to it, and the day that I choose to record it, I'm smothering with a bloody flu. So this is just going to be, you know, an after record. Like, I'm not scripted or anything, you can tell that I'm not even scripted, but I'm just giving my impression as to what I was doing that day. You notice that the camera did not once pan to my face. So yeah, you'll have those screws removed. And a bit of prying. I recommend a flathead Phillips. Just be very, very careful. It's really stuck in there nice and deep. And see, I made the biggest mistake of pulling that, and I was like, oh yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. And it's still attached by some glue. And it should just pry up nice and easily. Just be very, very careful. Yep, see, you just saw a little flicker there, it moved. That's the glue. But sooner or later, it should just pop up like so. And there you go. Just be very careful. That's the main motherboard you're holding in your hands. It's like a bomb. There we go. There's the back of the AVs, 2 memory cards, and they're for the that's for the high-speed ports for the Game Boy Player attachment. Now, this next part is just, well, to see what else the GameCube has. There's just these 2 screws here, and it removes this thin sheet of aluminium that's holding down. It's pretty much where the ground wire would go for the main AC power, as well as another high-speed port for the Game Boy player. You'll see those 2 connections there for the Game Boy. Yeah, if you were using the Game Boy player, it would sneak it into the bottom. That's where the main connections just would go. Nothing really much, just that one little circuit board, and the rest is just a plastic shell. So that is pretty much the entire GameCube. And being on this show, when I take it apart, I'm clearly going to put it back together. So I'm going to speed it up. If you've noticed that I did not once remove the GameCube disc. That's an important thing, because if anyone that knows disc operating systems, consoles, the little laser will read the disc. It's important just not to, you know, get that damaged or dusty, so you want something to protect it. And of course I could have put a regular CD over it, but put the GameCube CD into it, and I messed up here. There's one part I forgot to put in the 2 little small screws. It's important you don't forget them. And boom, I should be done. And let's see if it works. This is after Mario Kart. And there we go. It's working.